In a narcissistic world, in a time of narcissism, is it better to be a narcissist? Well, a recent study seems to suggest that it is. I've at times thought that I've certainly behaved narcissistically in my life on occasion, no question. But I've at times wondered if I was a narcissist. But listen to some of the qualities of a narcissist. An absence of shame. Well, that's it. I'm done. Because shame, guilt, those kind of feelings, that's what drives addiction. Too much self-awareness to be a narcissist. Who knows what my problem is? I mean, it's kind of narcissistic that my analysis of narcissism involves primarily whether or not I am a narcissist. So there you go. We're already in a conundrum. But what this article that we got from the BBC website talks about narcissists as being grandiose and delusional, obsessed with their own importance. And I know what you're thinking at this point. I know you are. You're thinking you're one. Well, I'm not, because look at the shame. There's an absence of shame, full of the bloody shame. Psychologists say that they're more likely to be happy than most people. And isn't that the nub? Are we creating a society that garners, cultivates, rewards, and creates narcissistic tendencies? Do you think it's possible through marketing, social media culture, such as the social media culture that you're watching this on, that we're continually thinking about ourselves as externalized? We're continually inviting the opinions of others or requiring the approval of others. Although this assessment of narcissism seems to suggest that narcissists live inside their own consciousness with no empathy or reflection upon what other people might think. But I would say there's something tyrannizing about narcissism, the impact they have on other people. If you were just a solitary narcissist sat in a cave, who would care if you didn't have relationships with other people? It's the negative impact of narcissism on others that we're interested in. So, Dr. Papageorgiou's research with 700 adults suggests that even though it might be bad for society, it seems to be beneficial for individual narcissists. So if you want to get ahead, get narcissistic. They have lower levels of stress and are less likely to see life as stressful, with their self-confidence and heightened sense of self-importance appearing to be protective qualities. Again, are we cultivating a culture that is growing, fortifying narcissism? Is it possible? Do you think that it is? I mean, are we spending enough time thinking about other people, helping one another, reaching out, thinking about community? How much today have you been thinking about others? Have I done enough for others today? I probably need to make a few reach out to other people phone calls. I've done a few kind little things. I've just remembered them. They're all right. Little acts of kindness here or there. Nothing backbreaking. I could do more. So, narcissists with strong grandiose characteristics can have a preoccupation with status and power. I get that. Overinflated sense of importance, have that, but also have its reverse. But vulnerable narcissists can be much more defensive and have a tendency to view other people's behaviour as hostile. Victim narcissists, is this a new phenomena? A kind of embracing of victimhood, a celebration of the victim culture? I know that there are some commentators that would say that. I'm not sure that I necessarily agree with them, but that's interesting that vulnerable narcissists have a tendency to view other people's behaviour as hostile. I wonder what Dr. Papageorgiou means by that. I'd like to talk to this Dr. Papageorgiou. Get him on here. Get him. We do a podcast, Under the Skin. We might get Dr. Papageorgiou on it. Such psychological traits should not be seen as either good or bad, but as products of evolution and expressions of human nature. All right, okay. Let's not judge things as good or bad. Oh, you've just narcissistically broken someone's heart. It's not good or bad. It's just a product of evolution. You say that about murder. And further research might find a way to cultivate some of these traits while discouraging others for the collective good. Well, I would say that our infatuation with individuals, idolatry, fetishization of heroes, even celebrities, you would probably argue, is bloody narcissistic. What we should be focusing on, in my not so humble opinion, is connections between one another, service, community, meaningful democracy, a politics that embraces the agency of individuals, that encourages us not to see power as something abstract, but something that we all participate in. So, my view on narcissism sounds like, a lot of people may qualify, but ultimately the lack of empathy is what it's talking about. And I do not see a lot of narcissism in politics. I know that narcissism is something that the President of the United States of America is frequently accused of, and possibly the Prime Minister of Britain, although you'd have to argue they're both quite charismatic. But then, there's no line drawn between narcissism and charisma, is there? Perhaps those two things go hand in glove. But in the end, no one wants to live in the illusion that the self is the most important thing, when the self is a construct, whilst it may have limitless eternal essence at its root. That would surely best be expressed through communion and love. If you enjoyed that video of me talking about narcissism, why don't you watch another one like what, Jen?
Feeling unloved.
You could watch one on feeling unloved, Jen says. Bear, what do you think? Oh, he's resting. Yeah, watch the one on feeling unloved, but there's some more videos coming up at the end of this one. Stay with us, support our channel, subscribe, share it around, do us a favour, will you?